welcome back to my channel. Yeah, you there, you too. Thanks for coming back, y'all. Today we're gonna be getting into candle making supplies, and I'm gonna be showing you everything that I use to make my candles. It's a short list, but it's a much needed and necessary list for those who think they need to buy all these tools, all these things to make some candles. I'm testing some candles right now. As you guys can see, I have my little 8-ounce jars that I got from Candle Science. I'll link these down below. And yeah, let's get into it. To get into things, the first thing I'm gonna show y'all is the type of wax that I use. I'm bringing along 2 types of waxes. One type of wax is Soy Wax from Candle Science. It is a golden wax 464, so I'm gonna show that first. This is a 10-pound bag. It's not 10 pounds anymore, but it was a 10-pound bag. So let's dig in. So how I scoop my wax, as you can see, I have 2 of these. These are actually to-go containers that I got from ordering out. I just washed them out and I place one of these on the scale and I scoop the wax and put it in here, so it works a lot easier for me. As you guys can see, this is how the 6-4 wax looks. It comes in these flakes. Yep, these flakes. It's super easy to maneuver, super easy to use, super easy to measure and weigh. So if you're looking for a beginner soy wax, this is a good one, I would say, because it's just easy. What's not easy about it though, let's get into the details. What's not easy about it is learning your fragrance load so that you get a good hot throw. That's something that I have struggled with, and I know a lot of beginner candle makers have also struggled with, because this wax is hard to get a good hot throw. You know, we make candles because we want them to smell good. We want them to sell so that people rave about how well our candles do. But this wax takes a lot of tender love and care and a lot of effort to learn which fragrance needs what amount in this wax. But outside of that, it's easy to weigh, it's easy to maneuver with. It just takes some time. So the next wax is a smaller load. This is a wax that I got from California Candle Supply. I do really like this wax. I just haven't, I have a 10-pound bag right here, so I'm not in a rush to go and get other waxes. But before this 10-pound bag came, I needed a wax because I was gonna show my friend how to make candles. And so I got this real quick. And so this wax is nice. First, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It comes in these blocks. If you, actually, this is a cut of a block. It came in a 3-pound block. So this is what it looks like. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's really nice. Like, I really like this wax. I'm actually considering transitioning over to this wax once I'm finished with this 10-pound wax, because although the 464 wax is a little bit easier to transfer into a container to weigh, and it's just easier to play around with, I will say that this wax is more consistent than the 464 wax in my opinion. Of course, all soy candles have frosting. All soy candles, you have to finesse a little bit to figure out what's right for your fragrance oil. But I say this is a little bit more consistent because I wish I had the candle that I made with this wax, but it looked pretty after a burn. If you have seen a 464 candle after it burns, it has a milky gloss to it. It has ridges. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional. It just doesn't look good. It looks like a DIY candle. Like, and I made a lot of candles with the 464 wax, and it just has a creamy overlay gloss that just, it's just not pleasant to the eyes. But this wax, it's smooth, it's consistent. Yes, there's some frosting, but it's a matte color, consistent matte color. It's a off-white color, but it's just nice to use. The only thing that I don't like about this wax is that it comes in these blocks. This was a 3-pound block. These slabs, they call them wax slabs. these 3-pound wax slabs that you have to cut. So you have to get a tool to be able to cut your wax, and it gets a little bit more tedious when you have to weigh it, but it's worth it in my opinion. I've worked with both the 646 and this wax from California Candle Supply. This wax is called Soy 10. It's a wax blend that they make on their own, and I would totally recommend this wax before I recommend the Golden Wax 464 wax. Just keep that in mind. My personal opinions. You don't have to follow what I think, but in my experience, I have liked this wax more. But I have that big ass bag, and she ain't going to waste. So let's get into the next thing. While speaking on measurements, here we go. This is what I use to weigh out my wax and my fragrance oil. It is a scale that I got, I think, from Amazon. Works fine. You know, got a little power button. All the numbers pop up, and it's easy to use. So I just place this right on here, chop up my wax or pour my wax depending on what wax I'm using, place it on top, and it tells me. And you can change the units from pounds to milliliters to grams, whatever you prefer. I prefer ounces, but I know a lot of people prefer grams because it's a little bit more precise. But this is a scale that I use. As you can see, it has been used, and it's a little beat up and a little dirty because you know she's been put to use. But I really do like this scale. I do want to get a little smaller scale for my fragrance oils because, I don't know, I think I just want to play around with it. But anyways, this is the scale that I use. You need a scale to measure your wax. You do. You need a scale to measure your wax so that you can write down your recipes, so that you can write down everything that you need to document in order to make a consistent candle. So measure, write your measurements down. As you can see on my candles, I write the wax, the fragrance oil, the candle wick I use, when I added the fragrance oil, what temperature I added the fragrance oil, the date, so I can keep track. So if this candle turned out good, this candle turned out good. We know what we did so that we can duplicate this again and again and again. So, like I said, you need you a good scale. I think this scale cost me like $10, if that. I'm sure there are cheaper scales, but saw this, found this, thought this, brought it home, and I started making some candles. So, the next thing that I use to make my candles is my pouring pot. So this is what I put my wax in after I have measured it. So I measure it in those little plastic containers on the scale, then I pour after I have measured it into this. Put this in a double boiler. I don't have my double boiler, that's what I forgot. But I put this on my pot, put some water in it, and I melt the wax. While the wax is melting, I'm stirring it, making sure all the clumps are out, making sure that everything is good and it's smooth and it's down and it's melted. So this is what I use. I got this from Candle Science in my candle making kit. I said in my last video, if you're new to making candles, go to Candle Science or go to any other website that has a candle making kit so you can decide if this is something that you even like, something that you even want to continue doing, or is this something that you just want to do as a hobby. And that's a great way to start because it gives you containers, it gives you wicks, it gives you wax, it gives you fragrance oils, it gives you everything that you would need. It gives you warning labels, it gives you stickies to stick your wicks on the jar. So I will say start there if you're just getting into it. But this is what I use to melt my wax. I put this in a pot full of water and I let it boil. You don't want to put this directly on heat because it can burn your wax too fast, it can burn your wax, and it can mess up your pot in general, and you don't want that. So this just allows you to melt the wax in a controlled temperature, because when you are melting your wax, you need your thermometer to keep track of how hot your wax is getting. Ooh, that was loud. So on to the next. This one is dirty right now. Oh no, it's not, it's pretty clean. But you need a thermometer. Why? Because you need to measure your temperature of your candle. Why? Because you need to heat your candle. You need to heat your candle wax up for 464 to at least 175 degrees, 180 degrees, around there, so that it reaches its peak temperature, so that it can slowly start to drop in temperature so that you can add your fragrance oil. Remember, candle making, yeah, it's a fun hobby. Yeah, you might like doing it. Yeah, you might be making these sales, but it's chemistry. You got to know what you're doing, and certain things need to have certain things done to them for them to activate. So we're going to activate our wax by using this thermometer and paying attention to how hot our wax is getting. We're also going to be using our thermometer to pay attention to when the temperature drops so that we can add our fragrance oil, because fragrance oils need to be added at a certain amount of time and temperature so that they are able to emit the fragrance properly once they solidify. So having a thermometer, truly important. It's equally as important as having something to melt your wax in. You need it. So as well, this isn't necessary, but I mean, you don't need this, you know, you can use whatever you got. I use a stirring stick. I don't even remember where I got this from. Oh, I got this from General Wax. And I'll get into General Wax in a little bit, but I got this from General Wax. I do get some of my containers from General Wax Candle Supply. It's in Burbank, California. It's a huge warehouse where they sell candles. They teach candle making classes. I've talked about them in my previous videos, so you can go check those out if you want. But I have a little stirring stick. I stir this because sometimes the wax clumps together. You got to break it apart, and you need something to break it apart with. Also, if you have fragrance oil that you poured into your wax, you need to stir it around to make sure that it's getting circulated, you know, so that it's a consistent candle. So I use a stirring stick. Those are the primary things that I use to make my candle. And then once the candle was ready, once the fragrance oil is added, the wax is melted, right temperatures, and you are at the prime pouring temperature, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get a container. So I have a few containers that I'm gonna show you. One has a candle in it, another doesn't, but I'm gonna show you these two because these two sizes are the ones that I use. I got this jar from Candle Science. It's a cute 8-ounce jar. These were really cheap. I think I paid $5 for like 12, maybe even more. No, I think I paid for like 12, but I know I got 24. But they come in black tops and white tops. I think they come in another top as well, might be a little bronze top, I'm not sure. But I got these, love these, they're perfect. These candles burn nicely. I use a CD12 wick, but I'm thinking of sizing down because I think I could get more burn from my buck. And I'm going to try a CD10 wick. I do like CD wicks with this, with this golden wax. I don't really like eco wicks that much, but so far I switched over and CD wax. I'm getting wax and wicks and candles and sticks and all of it mixed up, but I have been using CD10 wax or CD wax, and I have really been liking them so far. But back to the containers. So I use these jars to make some of my candles, as you can see. This is for a special candle though. And then I use these containers as well. I got this candle jar from General Wax Candle Supply. Also got this lid. It's a little dingy right now because it's just been sitting out. And I will say that they are a little bit pricey. I think with the lid and the container, this probably cost me around $5, but it's not the worst. And I've definitely seen more expensive ones, but I really do like these. And this particular size comes in clear, black, I think a gray. They have a lot of selections, to say the least. I will also show you my little travel candles that I really do love. These are so cute. I get these from Amazon. Oh, this is a nice candle. my first time seeing some of these because I just make them, let them cure. This is a nice candle. It looks so pretty. But yeah, we in there. So I got this from Amazon and I do like them. They are expensive. They're probably $1.70 each. No, they're probably like $1.20 each, something like that. But they're kind of expensive. So yes. So when we have our containers that we like, that we have scouted and hunted for, we need Wick stickers. As you can see, I have been using me some Wick stickers. I got these from Candle Science. I think it was like 100 in a pack. They have more than 100 if you need it. But these Wick stickers are very necessary. If you don't want to use Wick stickers, you can also use a hot glue gun. But the reason why I don't like using a hot glue gun is because if the glue get hot enough, it's just gonna melt again, right? So let's secure these wicks. Let's secure these wicks and make sure that they don't move. Make sure that we're making a safe candle for our customers or for ourselves. We don't want these candles to catch on fire because that is a real thing that could happen. So let's make sure that we are sticking these wicks down as securely as we can. If you want, you know, put a wick sticker and put some hot glue around it. See how that does. But we need to make sure that these wicks are secure because if they lean, they can catch fire. If you put too much fragrance oil, they catch fire. Don't act like this ain't an open fire that can light everything up. Okay? So, wicks, wick stickers, and a container to put your wax in. But I'm sure y'all already knew that. Y'all already knew that. But when you're searching for wicks, Candle Science has a great wick guide to help you decide which wicks will fit your container. But I will say, don't just stick to that. Read the reviews, see what people are talking about, and see if maybe you can find a better wick for the candle container that you're using. Because honestly, I think I had used a wick that Candle Science had recommended, but I ended up finding a better wick. I think the CD10, I think one of these wicks ended up being better. And I will say that Candle Science is a great resource as far as a starting point. So definitely use them. So one of the last thing that you need, I think, is just as important as all the rest of the things. But this gonna close out the deal. You know what I'm saying? This right here. This is it. 100% alcohol. 100% alcohol. You know why you need this? Because you need to clean that. You need to clean this. You need to clean this. You need to clean this. You need to clean everything. No, I'm kidding. But you do need alcohol to be able to rub down. Make sure your jars are clean and have a clean surface so that your wick stickers have a clean surface to stick on so they don't lift up, they don't move, but you know they're 100% clean and ready for you to be able to stick these on securely. So you need to clean your jars and your containers before you put anything in them. Why? Because you don't know if you got hair in them. You don't know if you got residue with something else. You don't know where these containers were before you. Just make sure that you're just, you know, it's just quality all around and you're just taking care of each point from top to bottom. But not only do you need this to clean your candle containers, you need these to clean your pitcher, because once you melt your wax and pour it out, there's gonna be some residue. There's gonna be something of left inside of here that can build up, cake up, you know. It's just not gonna be cute. So you need to clean it with some alcohol. So let's get it popping. But that is all. If you want me to review anything else, let me know down in the comments. Let me know if I forgot something, because I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know. Maybe. But for real, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see y'all next time. It's Chris, and we bossing up in 2020. Okay, let's get it. All right.